Hello, I'm Maurizio, and today I'm going to make a persuasive speech about conserving the environment. Try to remember when you get burned out by all the modern obligations. Would you want to find a place to rest? If you're anything like me, you'll want to find a natural environment to rest, get a bunch of fresh air, and ready yourself for the next workload. As a student that has a lot of workload, I value the natural environment for it gives me the rest I need and also give me the time for me to mentally prepare myself for the next workload I have. Like many of you, I occasionally take trips outside the natural environment, and I really do enjoy it and I really do require it for my sanity. But what if I tell you that the natural environment we know and love is in danger because of the ignorance of humanity? There's multiple scientific evidence that shows that the natural environment is being damaged by human ignorance. With scientific shreds of evidence, it's undeniable that humanity should conserve the environment for the sake of their well-being. In this speech, I'll use valid scientific sources to show how vulnerable the natural environment is. I'll show it in its species aspect, its habitat aspect, and even its regenerative ability aspect. And I'll connect it to how humanity relates to it and how it values humanity. To start it off, I would like to explain the vulnerability of the natural environment in its species. In the environment, there are all sorts of species, and there's also key species that balance the environment. Key species are more important than other species for their balancing the environment. So, how important are they? A YouTube documentary posted by the YouTube channel Sustainably Human titled How Wolves Changed Rivers highlights events during 1995 of how wolves were introduced to Yellowstone National Park. Posted in 2014, the video shows evidence of how the wolves managed to regenerate the environment and re-establish balance by hunting herbivores that were overgrazing and being the apex predator they are. So the title wasn't an over-exaggeration because they really did this. When the herbivores that were overgrazing were removed or decreased, the plantation could provide support to prevent erosion and also allowing rivers to be formed to nurture the whole environment. Hence, rivers are formed because of the wolves. This event is evidence to how humanity could be destructive, for in the year 1925, the humans removed the wolf and caused unbalance in the environment. So, note, the role of species in the environment isn't the only thing we should worry about. Another major aspect that makes the natural environment is the natural habitat. So what happens if the habitat is destroyed? A good example to answer this question is mountain top removal, or MTR. Mountain top removal is an efficient way to mine coal, and it's done by blowing up chunks of the mountains to mine coal. So despite being efficient, it comes with negative impacts. A TED Talk speech done by environmental scientist Michael Hendricks in the year 2018 explains the negative impact of mountaintop removal. So with that video, I could explain that mountaintop removal will remove the habitats for species that live in it and force them to compete for the scarce environment they have. Next, the remains of mountaintop were just simply discarded in the rivers, hence contaminating the rivers and also blocking off rivers. Aside from the waters being contaminated, the air is also contaminated when dust particles occur and cause the air and pollute the air. So the water contamination and air contamination have caused diseases for many organisms, including humans. Illnesses like chronic disease, cardiovascular diseases, and also lung cancer. There are also higher human death rates in communities near MTR. So, mountaintop removal is a threat for it damages humans and environments that have species that maintain the environment. Knowing how severe the consequences of the destruction of the environment, how long does it take for the environment to regenerate itself? The answer to that question is some damage humans done are permanent, and some may take decades to recover. Contrastingly, the damage caused by the environment is terrifyingly swift and dexterous, for humans could destroy the environment with ease in a short amount of time. An example is how fast it took for the human to remove the wolves and how long it took for the wolves to regenerate the environment. Without the intervention of humans, the restoration of the environment is unlikely or even impossible. For the mountain top removal awareness is only possible for people like Michael Hendricks, and the wolves restoration is only possible for the scientists that brought the wolf and reintroduced the wolves to the Yellowstone National Park. With this in mind, how can we help? The environmental science book written by Richard Wright, titled Environmental Science Towards a Sustainable Future, shows how much humanity is connected to the natural environment. We eat food from nature, we breathe air from nature, we drink water from nature, hence we are part of nature. The book also shows multiple ways humanity can conserve the environment, and one way is spreading awareness. We can spread awareness of the vulnerabilities of the environment and how valuable the environmental is for us. Of course, not everyone supports the conservation of the environment and also supports the regeneration movements. The website Alpacian Voices noted that the coal industry does not like the mountaintop removal conservation because it ruins their business, despite the fact that only 3% of the energy in the US is contributed with MTR. The official Yellowstone National Park tourism website noted that farmers dislike wolves because they believe wolves eat their cattle. However, they're ignorant to the fact that wolves actually make a better ecosystem and give their farms better air and even water. So our job is to give those ignorant people knowledge and understanding of how important the environment is. In conclusion, the environment is very vulnerable. For a single species disappearing in the environment could cause the downfall to the environment. And also, the destruction of a habitat could cause a chain effect that destroys the whole ecosystem. And environment is also very connected to the human world. The natural environment is greatly so. Scientific evidence has shown the importance of the natural environment for human society. Therefore, humanity should conserve the natural environment for their sake. With that in mind, I encourage all of you to spread awareness regarding the natural environment and conserving it. You can do this by sending YouTube videos like the one about Michael Hendricks talking about MTR, or the one about Yellowstone National Park and how wolves saved it. Afterwards, you can take action by either donating to an environmental campaign or posting posts of environmental campaigns in your Twitter or Instagram accounts. A famous American anthropologist named Margaret Mead once said, "We won't have a society if we destroy the environment. Take action before it's too late." Thank you.